The sound cut through her dreams like a knife. Yuna sat up fast, her heart beating hard in her chest. Red lights flashed across the small cabin of her cargo ship. The alarm was screaming. It was the kind of alarm that meant danger. Real danger. She threw off her blanket and ran to the control room. Her bare feet slapped against the cold metal floor. The screens were alive with warnings. She had never seen so many red signals at once. "What is happening?" she whispered to herself. Her ship was called the Morning Star. It was small and old, but it was hers. She had saved money for 10 years to buy it. Now she carried cargo between planets. It was not exciting work, but it was honest. The communication screen lit up. A face appeared. It was a man with a hard jaw and cold eyes. He wore the uniform of the Galactic Fleet. The symbol on his chest showed he was a high commander. "Cargo vessel Morning Star," the man said. His voice was flat and serious. "This is Fleet Commander Tejo of the United Galactic Council. You will stop your engines immediately. You will prepare to be boarded." Yuna stared at the screen. Her mouth fell open. "I am sorry," she said. "I think there is a mistake. I am just a cargo pilot. I carry food supplies to the outer colonies." "There is no mistake," Tejo said. "Stop your engines now. This is your only warning." The screen went dark. Yuna looked out through the front window of her ship. Her blood went cold. There were ships everywhere. Big warships with cannons that could destroy a small moon. Fighter ships that moved like angry insects. There had to be 50 of them, maybe more. They were all pointed at her. "This cannot be real," she said. Her hands were shaking as she checked her cargo list. Food packets, water containers, medical supplies for a small colony on the edge of known space. Nothing special. Nothing illegal. So why was the entire fleet trying to catch her? A new alarm started. This one was different. It was the alarm for her cargo bay. Something was moving down there. Yuna grabbed a flashlight and a small tool that could be used as a weapon. She moved slowly down the narrow hallway to the cargo bay door. Her heart was beating so loud she could hear it in her ears. She opened the door. The cargo bay was dark and full of boxes. The red emergency lights made everything look strange and scary. Shadows moved in the corners. "Hello?" Yuna called out. "Is someone there?" She heard a small sound. It was like a whimper. Like something afraid. Yuna moved between the boxes, following the sound. She found it in the far corner, hidden behind a stack of food containers. It was a creature. Small, maybe the size of a human baby. It had soft blue skin and big eyes that looked like pools of silver light. It had tiny hands with 4 fingers. It was shaking with fear. When it saw Yuna, it made a crying sound and tried to hide deeper in the corner. Yuna dropped to her knees. She put down her weapon. "Hey," she said softly. "Hey, little one. It is okay. I am not going to hurt you." The creature looked at her with those big silver eyes. Tears were falling down its blue cheeks. Yuna had never seen anything like it before. But she knew one thing for certain. This was a baby. A scared, crying baby. The communication screen in the cargo bay turned on. Tejo's face appeared again. "Cargo pilot," he said. "We know you have a Velry on your ship. That creature is extremely dangerous. The Galactic Council has ordered its immediate termination. Hand it over, and you will not be harmed." Yuna looked at the tiny creature. It was looking at the screen with pure terror. It started to shake even harder. "Termination?" Yuna said. "You want to kill a baby?" "That is not a baby," Tejo said. "That is a weapon. The last of a species that nearly destroyed 3 star systems. The council voted. They must all be eliminated." Yuna looked at the creature again. It had crawled closer to her. Its tiny hand touched her knee. She could feel it trembling. "What did they do?" she asked. "What did this species do?" "They have psychic powers," Tejo said. "When they grow up, they can destroy minds. They can make people go crazy. They can kill with a thought. We found them on a planet in the outer rim. We had no choice. No choice but to kill them all? Even the children? Especially the children. They grow up. They become monsters. The little creature made a soft sound. It was trying to hide behind Yuna's leg now. Its small body was warm against her. How did it get on my ship? Yuna asked. We do not know, Taeho admitted. Maybe the parents hid it before we found them. Maybe it has powers we do not understand. All we know is that it is on your ship. And it must be destroyed. Yuna stood up slowly. She picked up the small creature. It was so light. Like holding a cloud. It wrapped its tiny arms around her neck and buried its face in her shoulder. No, Yuna said. Taeho blinked. What did you say? I said no. I am not giving you this child. That is not a child. It is a threat to galactic security. It is scared. It is alone. It is crying for its mother. I do not care what species it is. I am not letting you kill a baby. Taeho's face became hard. Then you will die with it. You have 5 minutes to change your mind. After that, we will open fire. The screen went dark. Yuna stood in the cargo bay, holding the tiny creature. The fleet was outside, ready to destroy her ship. She had 5 minutes to live, but when she looked down at the small face pressed against her shoulder, she knew she had made the right choice. Do not worry, she whispered. I will protect you. She did not know how. She did not know if she could, but she was going to try. Because some things were more important than following orders. Some things were more important than her own life. She was human, and humans protected the helpless. Even if it meant standing alone against the entire galaxy. Yuna ran to the control room with the small creature still in her arms. She had 4 minutes left. 4 minutes before the fleet would turn her ship into dust. She put the creature in the co-pilot seat. It looked at her with those big silver eyes, still shaking with fear. Stay here, Yuna said. Hold on tight. She sat down and started pressing buttons. The Morning Star was old, but it was fast. She had upgraded the engines herself. She knew every part of this ship. The countdown on her screen showed 3 minutes left. Yuna pulled up the star maps. There was a nebula not far from here. A thick cloud of gas and dust where sensors would not work well. If she could reach it, she might have a chance. 2 minutes left. She started the engines. The ship began to move. Cargo vessel Morning Star. A voice came through the speakers. You are making a serious mistake. Stop now. Yuna did not answer. She pushed the engines harder. 1 minute left. The fleet started moving too. The big warships were slow, but the fighter ships were fast. They were coming for her. 30 seconds. Yuna looked at the nebula on her screen. It was close. So close. 10 seconds. She closed her eyes and pushed the button for maximum speed. The Morning Star jumped forward like a wild animal. The force pushed Yuna back in her seat. The small creature made a scared sound. Behind them, the first shots were fired. Bright lights flew past the ship. One of them hit the back. The whole ship shook. Come on, Yuna whispered. Come on, come on. The nebula was right there. Just a few more seconds. Another shot hit them. Alarms started screaming again, but Yuna did not stop, and then they were inside the nebula. The purple and pink clouds surrounded them. The sensors went crazy, showing nothing but static. Yuna turned off the engines and let the ship drift. Outside, she could hear the fleet ships flying past. They could not see her now. The nebula was too thick. Yuna let out a long breath. Her hands were still shaking. The small creature climbed out of its seat and came to her. It touched her hand with its tiny fingers. We made it, Yuna said. For now. She looked at the creature more carefully. It was so small and fragile. Its blue skin was soft like flower petals. Its silver eyes held more feeling than she expected. I need to call you something, Yuna said. I cannot keep calling you creature. The little one tilted its head, as if trying to understand. How about Bomi? Yuna said. It means something precious, something beautiful. Do you like that? The creature made a soft sound. It almost sounded happy. Balmy it is, Yuna smiled. But the smile did not last long. The ship was damaged. She could see the warnings on her screen. The back engines were hurt. She could fly, but not fast. And the fleet would not give up. They would search the nebula until they found her. Yuna pulled up her communication files. She needed help. But who could she call? The entire Galactic Council wanted Bomi dead. Every official channel was dangerous. Then she remembered something. A friend from years ago. A man named G1, who worked on a research station near the Outer Rim. He was a scientist, not a soldier. Maybe he could help her understand what she was dealing with. She sent a coded message and waited. An hour passed. Bomi fell asleep in Yuna's lap. The creature was so tired, so worn out from fear. Yuna stroked its smooth head gently. Finally, a response came. G1's face appeared on screen. He looked older than she remembered, with gray in his hair and tired lines around his eyes. "Yuna?" he said. "Is that really you? Your message said, emergency. G1, I need your help. I have a Velry on my ship, a baby. The fleet wants to kill it." G1's face went pale. "A Velry? Yuna, do you know what those things can do?" "The commander told me they have psychic powers, that they can destroy minds." "It is worse than that," G1 said. He looked around nervously, like he was afraid someone was listening. "I was part of the team that studied them. The Velry are the most powerful psychic species ever discovered. When they reach maturity, they can control thoughts, create illusions, even stop a heart with just their mind." Yuna looked down at Bomi sleeping in her lap. "This one is just a baby. It does not matter." The council was terrified. They ordered the entire species destroyed. Every adult, every child, every egg. The Velry homeworld was burned from space. Yuna felt sick. "They killed them all?" "Almost all. A few escaped. We have been hunting them for months. This one must be the last. So if I give it up, you kill it? And the entire species is gone? Forever?" G1 nodded slowly. "That is the plan." Yuna held Bomi tighter. "I cannot do that, G1. I cannot be part of killing the last of anything. Especially not a child. Yuna, you do not understand. The Velry powers come from emotion. When they feel strong feelings, their abilities activate. Fear, anger, pain. If this baby gets scared enough, it could kill everyone on your ship, without even trying." Yuna thought about this. Bomi had been very scared. When the fleet surrounded them, when Taeho appeared on screen, the little creature had been terrified. But nothing bad had happened. "What about positive emotions?" Yuna asked. "What about feeling safe, feeling loved?" G1 blinked. "What do you mean?" "When I held Bomi, when I spoke softly and made it feel protected, it calmed down. It stopped shaking. It fell asleep in my arms. If fear activates its powers, maybe kindness keeps them quiet." "That is?" G1 stopped. He looked thoughtful. "We never considered that. We only saw the Velry when they were fighting back, when they were scared and angry. We never tried to be kind to them." "Maybe that was your mistake," Yuna said. "Maybe they were never monsters. Maybe you made them into monsters by treating them like monsters." G1 was quiet for a long moment. Then he shook his head. "It does not matter what I think. The council has made its decision. Admiral Dongwu is leading the hunt himself. He will not stop until that creature is dead. Then I will not stop running. Yuna, please. Think about this. You are one human with a broken ship. The fleet has hundreds of vessels. You cannot win." "I am not trying to win," Yuna said. "I am trying to do what is right." She ended the call. Bomi stirred in her lap, making soft sounds in its sleep. Yuna stroked its head again. "It is okay," she whispered. "I am here. You are safe." She did not know if that was true. She did not know if she could keep this promise, but she was going to try. Outside the nebula, the fleet was waiting. Admiral Dongwu was coming. The hunt had begun, but Yuna was not afraid. She was angry. They had killed an entire species out of fear. They had burned a world full of children, and now they wanted to finish the job by murdering the last survivor. Yuna looked down at Bami, at this tiny creature who had done nothing wrong except exist. They will have to go through me first, she said quietly, and she meant every word. 3 days passed inside the nebula. Yuna used the time to fix her ship as best she could. The back engines were damaged but working. She patched holes, replaced burned wires, and prayed that the morning star would hold together. Bami stayed close to her the whole time. At first, the little creature just watched her with those big silver eyes. It followed her around the ship like a shadow, never more than a few steps away. When Yuna worked on repairs, Bomi sat nearby. When Yuna ate, Bomi tried to eat the same food. Slowly, the fear in those eyes started to fade. On the second day, Bomi made a sound. It was not a cry or a whimper. It was something else, almost like a word. Yuna, the creature said. Yuna dropped her tools. She turned and stared. Did you just say my name? Bomi tilted its head. Yuna, it said again, more clearly this time. Yuna knelt down to be at the same level. That is right. I am Yuna. And you are Bomi. Can you say Bomi? Bomi, the creature said. Then it pointed at itself and smiled. It was the first time Yuna had seen it smile. Over the next day, Bomi learned more words. Simple ones. Ship, food, sleep, safe. The creature was smart, much smarter than Yuna had expected. It was like watching a flower bloom in fast motion. But the most important thing Yuna noticed was what did not happen. Bomi never used its powers. G1 had said the Velry abilities came from strong emotions. Fear, anger, pain. Yuna had seen Bomi feel all of these when the fleet first came. But now, surrounded by kindness, the creature was calm. Happy, even. On the third night, something special happened. Yuna was sitting in the control room, looking at star maps and trying to plan her next move. Bomi was playing with some colored wires, making patterns with them on the floor. Suddenly, the wires started to float. Yuna froze. The wires were dancing in the air, spinning in gentle circles. They formed shapes. A star. A flower. A heart. Bomi was laughing. A pure, innocent sound full of joy. This was the power that scared the galaxy. But it was not destruction. It was not death. It was play. It was art. It was a happy child, making beautiful things with its mind. Yuna felt tears in her eyes. Bomi, she said softly. The creature looked at her. The wires fell gently to the floor. Pretty, Bomi said, pointing at the shapes. Yes, Yuna agreed. Very pretty. She understood now. The Velry were not weapons. They were not monsters. Their powers reflected their feelings. When they felt pain and fear, they caused pain and fear. But when they felt love and safety, they created beauty. The Galactic Council had seen only one side. They had attacked first, and the Velry had defended themselves. Then the Council called them dangerous and killed them all. It was not justice. It was murder. The communication system made a sound. Someone was trying to reach her. Yuna answered carefully, ready to cut the connection if it was the fleet. But it was not the fleet. It was a face she did not recognize. A woman with dark hair and serious eyes, wearing a simple gray uniform. Cargo pilot Yuna, the woman said. My name is Ha-Un. I am captain of the civilian transport ship Silver Wind. I heard your transmission. Yuna had not made any transmission. What are you talking about? 3 days ago, when you refused to give up the Velry child. Your communication with Commander Tae-ho was picked up by half the ships in this sector. People are talking about you. Yuna felt cold. If people knew where she was, the fleet would find her too. What are they saying? She asked. Ha-Un smiled slightly. Some say you are crazy. Some say you are a criminal who should be caught. But many say you are brave. They say you stood up to the entire fleet to protect a child. It is a child, Yuna said. Species does not matter. Murder is murder. I agree, Ha-Yun said. That is why I am contacting you. There are others who feel the same way. Civilian ships, independent pilots, even some military officers who are uncomfortable with the Council's orders. We want to help you. Yuna did not know what to say. She had thought she was alone. Why would you risk yourselves for us? She asked. Because we are human, Ha-Yun said simply. And this is not who we are supposed to be. We do not kill children. We do not wipe out entire species because we are scared of them. If we let the Council do this, what does that make us? Bomi climbed into Yuna's lap and looked at the screen. It waved one small hand at Ha-Yun. Ha-Yun's eyes went soft. Is that the little one? This is Bomi, Yuna said. Hello, Bomi, Ha-Yun said gently. Hello, Bomi said back. Ha-Yun laughed, surprised. It can speak? Bomi learns fast, and when Bomi feels safe, the psychic powers are not dangerous at all. They are actually beautiful. The Council never gave them a chance to show that. Ha-Yun nodded slowly. Then we need to give the galaxy a chance to see it too. Listen. The nebula will not hide you forever. Admiral Dongwu is bringing specialized sensors. He will find you within the next 2 days. I know, Yuna said. I am working on a plan. I have a better one, Ha-Yun said. Head for the dead moon near the Keros system. It is 3 jumps from your position. We will meet you there. Bring as much evidence as you can. Recordings of Bomi being peaceful. Proof that kindness keeps the powers calm. And then what? Then we show everyone. Every ship, every station, every colony. We let the galaxy decide if killing this child is really necessary. It was dangerous. It could fail, but it was the only chance they had. We will be there, Yuna said. She ended the call and looked down at Bomi. The little creature was playing with a strand of Yuna's hair, wrapping it around its tiny fingers. We have friends, Yuna said. Can you believe it? We are not alone. Bomi looked up at her and smiled. Friends, it said. That is right. Friends. Yuna started the engines. It was time to leave the nebula. It was time to take a stand. She did not know if they would survive. She did not know if the galaxy would listen. But she knew one thing for certain. Bomi deserved a chance to live. And Yuna was going to give it to her. Even if it meant standing against the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. Even if it meant everything. Because that was what humans did. They protected the innocent. They fought for what was right. They refused to give up hope, even when hope seemed lost. And sometimes, that was enough to change everything. The dead moon hung in space like a gray stone. Yuna brought the morning star down slowly, looking for a place to land. The surface was covered with rocks and dust. Nothing grew here. Nothing lived here. It was the perfect place to hide, but they were not hiding anymore. Ha-Yun's ship, the Silver Wind, was already there. 2 other civilian vessels sat nearby. More were coming. Yuna could see them on her sensors, small lights moving toward the moon from different directions. She landed her ship and stepped outside. The moon had a thin atmosphere, enough to breathe but cold. Very cold. She held Bomi close, wrapped in a warm blanket. Ha-Yun walked over to meet her. The woman was older than she had looked on screen, with gray streaks in her dark hair. But her eyes were kind. You made it, Ha-Yun said. I was worried. We had to fly around 2 patrol ships, Yuna said. But yes, we are here. Ha-Yun looked at Bomi. The little creature stared back with curious silver eyes. Pretty, Bomi said, pointing at Ha-Yun's hair. Ha-Yun laughed softly. This is what they want to kill? This sweet little thing? They are scared, Yuna said. Scared people do terrible things. More ships arrived over the next few hours. Cargo vessels, passenger transports, even a few small mining ships. 23 ships in total, all crewed by people who refused to stay silent. They gathered in the largest ship to plan. The room was crowded with faces from different worlds. Humans, mostly, but also a few aliens. A tall, blue-skinned Valorian stood in the corner. Too small, Furry Mika sat together near the front. Everyone looked at Yuna and the child in her arms. "This is Bomi," Yuna said. "The last Velri. I know you have all heard stories about how dangerous this species is. I know you have been told they are weapons, monsters, threats to the galaxy. But I have spent 5 days with this child. I have watched her learn to speak. I have seen her powers. And I am telling you, everything you have been told is wrong." She set Bomi down on a table. The creature looked around at all the strange faces, nervously pressing close to Yuna's hand. "Bomi," Yuna said gently. "Can you show them something pretty?" The little creature tilted its head. Then it smiled. Colored lights began to float up from Bomi's small hands. They danced in the air, spinning and weaving together. They formed patterns. Stars, flowers, animals made of pure light. The room filled with soft, beautiful colors. Everyone watched in silence. "This is what the Velri can do," Yuna said. "When they feel safe, when they feel loved, they create beauty, art, wonder." The council only saw what happens when they feel fear and pain, but that was the council's choice. They attacked first. They made the Velri afraid. And then they used that fear as an excuse to commit genocide. The lights faded as Bomi grew tired. The little creature yawned and reached for Yuna. She picked her up and held her close. "I have recordings," Yuna continued. "Days of recordings showing Bomi playing, learning, laughing. Not once did she hurt anyone. Not once did she try to destroy anything. All she wanted was to be safe. All she wanted was someone to care for her." Haun stepped forward. "We have a plan. The council controls the official channels, but there are ways to broadcast that they cannot stop. Old emergency frequencies. Independent relay stations. If we can get this footage to enough people, the council will have to answer for what they have done." A man with a scarred face spoke up. His name was Hyun Woo, and he was the captain of a mining ship. "What about the fleet? Admiral Dong-woo is searching for us. When he finds this moon, he will not hesitate to attack. That is why we need to move fast," Ha-yun said. "We broadcast everything. We show the galaxy the truth. Then we see what happens." "And if the galaxy does not care?" someone asked. Yuna looked down at Bomi. The child was falling asleep in her arms, exhausted but peaceful. "Then at least we tried," she said. "At least we did not stay silent while they killed the last innocent of an entire species." They worked through the night. Yuna told her story on camera. She showed the recordings she had made. Other people added their own messages. Doctors who explained that the Velri were not naturally aggressive. Scientists who questioned the council's claims. Parents who refused to accept that killing children was ever justified. By morning, they were ready. But so was the fleet. The sensors screamed warnings as ships appeared at the edge of the system. Dozens of them. The full strength of Admiral Dong-woo's hunt group. "They found us," Hyun-woo said grimly. Yuna held Bomi tighter. The child woke up and looked around with frightened eyes. "Scared," Bomi whispered. "I know," Yuna said. "But I am here. I will not let them hurt you." Ha-yun was already moving. "Get to the ships. We need to launch now." But there was nowhere to run. The fleet was too big, too fast. They would be caught before they could jump to safety. Yuna made a decision. "Send the broadcast," she said. "Now. Everything we have." Said, "I have to." Said, "We are not finished preparing," someone protested. "We do not have time to finish. Send it now." "Let the galaxy see." Ha-un nodded and gave the order. The messages went out on every frequency they could reach. Recordings of Bomi playing. Yuna's testimony. Everything. The fleet ships moved closer. Admiral Dong-woo's voice came through every speaker. "Attention, rebel vessels. You are harboring a dangerous weapon. Surrender the Velri creature and you will be allowed to leave peacefully. Refuse, and you will be destroyed." Yuna walked to her ship. She climbed into the cockpit with Bomi still in her arms. She opened a channel to the fleet. "Admiral Dong-woo," she said. "My name is Yuna. I am the one who took this child. If you want to kill her, you will have to go through me. She flew the Morning Star up from the moon's surface. Alone. One small cargo ship against the entire fleet. You are making a mistake, Dongwu said. That creature will kill you eventually. You cannot tame a weapon. She is not a weapon, Yuna said. She is a child. And I will protect her until my last breath. Bomi looked up at Yuna. There were tears in those silver eyes. But there was something else too. Trust. Love. The pure faith of a child who believed she was safe. Yuna, Bomi said. Love you. Yuna felt tears on her own face. I love you too. Little one. She faced the fleet. Hundreds of cannons pointed at her tiny ship. You want to kill us? She said. Then the whole galaxy will watch you murder a baby and the woman who protected her. Fire when you are ready. Admiral, show everyone what the council really is. The fleet hesitated. And in that moment, something unexpected happened. A ship broke formation. It was a military cruiser, one of the smaller vessels in Dongwu's fleet. It flew away from the others and came to rest beside Yuna's tiny cargo ship. What are you doing? Dongwu's voice roared across the channel. Get back in formation immediately, a new voice answered. It was calm and clear. My name is Captain Subin of the cruiser Braveheart. I have served the fleet for 20 years. I have followed every order without question, but I will not follow this one. Yuna stared at the cruiser floating next to her. She could not believe what she was seeing. Captain Subin, Dongwu said, his voice cold with anger. You are committing treason. No, Admiral. I am being human. I watched the broadcast. I saw the recordings. That little creature is not a threat. It is a child who has done nothing wrong, except survive, and I will not help you kill it. Another ship moved, then another, then 5 more. Yuna watched as vessel after vessel broke away from the fleet. Some were military. Some were civilian ships that had been traveling nearby and picked up the broadcast. They came from all directions, forming a wall between Yuna and the Admiral. What is happening? Bomi asked, looking at all the lights. Help, Yuna whispered. Help is happening. More voices came through the communication channels. Different ships, different people, all saying the same thing. We stand with the child. Humans do not kill babies. This is wrong. We will not be part of it. Within minutes, nearly half of Dongwu's fleet had switched sides. The rest stood uncertain. Their weapons still pointed at Yuna, but their crews unsure what to do. Admiral Dongwu's face appeared on screen. He looked older now, tired and confused. The man who had been so certain was suddenly alone. You are all fools, he said. That creature will grow up. It will become dangerous. You are dooming yourselves. Captain Subin answered for everyone. Maybe it will become dangerous. Or maybe it will become wonderful. Maybe it will be the most amazing thing this galaxy has ever seen. We do not know, but we are not going to kill a child because we are afraid of what it might become. That is not who humans are. Then, who are we? Dongwu asked. What makes us different from every other species in this galaxy? Yuna opened her channel. Everyone could hear her now. The fleet. The civilian ships. Every station and colony that had received their broadcast. We are the species that protects the weak, she said. We are the ones who stand up when everyone else sits down. We adopt the orphan. We feed the hungry. We shelter the lost. We do not kill children because they might grow up to be problems. We raise them. We teach them. We love them until they become the best version of themselves. She held up Bomi so everyone could see. The little creature looked at the camera with those big silver eyes. This is Bomi, Yuna said. The last of her kind. She can speak now. She laughs when she is happy. She cries when she is scared. She creates beautiful things when she feels loved. She is innocent. She is precious. And she deserves to live. Bomi waved at the camera. Hi, she said. Friends. Across the galaxy, people watched. On stations and colonies and ships far away, Humans and aliens alike saw a small blue creature wave and say hello, and something changed. Messages started coming in. Thousands of them. Then millions. People everywhere were talking about Bomi. News channels picked up the story. Politicians were asked questions they could not answer. The Galactic Council started receiving calls from every sector. Admiral Dongwu received new orders. He looked at them for a long moment. Then he looked at Yuna's ship on his screen. The Council has decided to reconsider their position, he said. His voice was stiff, unhappy. No action will be taken against the Velry at this time. The matter will be reviewed. Cheers erupted across the communication channels. Ships honked their horns. People celebrated on bridges and in cargo bays. But Yuna did not celebrate. Not yet. What does that mean for Bomi? She asked. Subin's voice came through. It means she is safe for now. The council will not admit they were wrong. But they cannot ignore what happened today. Too many people saw the truth. What about me? What about my ship? You are a hero, Subin said. Anyone who tries to arrest you will have to answer to every human in the galaxy. Go in peace, Yuna. Take care of that little one. Yuna let out a breath she did not know she had been holding. Tears fell down her face as she hugged Bomi tight. We did it, she whispered. We actually did it. Did what? Bomi asked. We changed everything. The fleet dispersed slowly. Some ships went back to their patrols. Others came to shake Yuna's hand and meet Bomi. Captain Subin visited personally, bringing gifts of food and toys for the child. Thank you, Yuna said to her, for being the first to stand with us. Subin smiled sadly. I almost did not. I almost followed orders like I always have. But then I saw that little face on my screen, waving and saying hello, and I thought about my own children at home. I could not do it. I could not be part of killing someone's baby. You saved us. No, you saved us. You reminded us who we are. Later, when the excitement had faded and the ships had gone, Yuna sat alone with Bomi in the morning star. The galaxy spread out before them, full of stars and possibilities. Where go now? Bomi asked. Yuna thought about it. She had no plan, no destination. Everything had happened so fast. I do not know, she admitted. Where do you want to go? Bomi pointed at a cluster of stars in the distance. Pretty place. Then we will go there, Yuna said. Together. She started the engines. The morning star flew forward into the unknown. Behind them, the galaxy was still talking about what had happened. The story of the human pilot who defied the entire fleet to protect an alien child. The story of the last Velry who changed hearts with a wave and a smile. Things were different now. They would never be the same. Because one human had refused to stay silent. One human had stood against fear with nothing but love and determination. One human had reminded the galaxy that kindness was stronger than weapons, and compassion was mightier than fear. And in her arms, that human held the future. A small blue child who fell asleep to the hum of engines, dreaming of pretty places and the woman who had become her whole world. The last of her kind, but never again alone.